The alien girl reunites with the human soldier who saved her years before. The war had been raging for months. Starships blazed across the skies of distant planets, and armies of different species fought without mercy. On one small, crumbling world far from the human colonies, a young alien girl named Lyra ran through the ruins of her village. Her small, thin legs carried her as fast as they could, but the sound of heavy boots behind her reminded her she could not run forever. Lyra's home had been peaceful once. Her people lived in harmony with the strange green forests and tall crystal mountains. They were gentle and kind, not warriors, but the raiders had come suddenly, burning homes and taking anyone who could not escape. Lyra had lost her parents, her friends, and her home in a single day. All that remained was fear and the need to survive. She ducked behind a broken wall and held her breath. The raiders' voices came closer. They were large, rough creatures with jagged armor. They laughed as they destroyed everything. Lyra wanted to scream, but she remembered her mother's words. "Be quiet, be clever, survival is your strength." She clenched her fists and waited, hoping they would pass. Suddenly, a shadow fell over her. Lyra froze. A human soldier stood there, tall and strong. His armor was scratched and his helmet looked battered, but his eyes were sharp and alert. He carried a blaster, ready to fight anyone who came near. "Hey," he whispered, kneeling down. "Are you alone?" Lyra nodded slowly. She did not trust anyone anymore, but something in his voice was different. It was calm, not cruel. "Don't worry," the human said. "I'll get you out of here. My name is Alex Carter. Can you walk?" Lyra hesitated. She had heard humans were dangerous, violent, and unpredictable. But the fear in her chest was stronger than her fear of him. She nodded again, and Alex offered his hand. They moved carefully through the ruins. Alex kept low, scanning every corner, while Lyra followed closely. She noticed how humans moved differently from aliens. He was confident but careful. Every step was measured. He checked for traps, for enemies, for danger everywhere. "Why are you helping me?" Lyra asked quietly as they crouched behind a fallen tree. Alex paused. "Because no one should be left alone in a war," he said. "Everyone deserves a chance, even someone small like you." Lyra's eyes widened. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Not the raiders, not other humans she had seen from far away, not anyone. His words felt warm, like the sunlight she had not seen in weeks. They reached the edge of the village where the trees became thick and dark. Alex looked around and whispered, "We can hide in the forest. It's safer there. Can you run fast?" "Yes," Lyra said. She had run for her life many times today. "Good, follow me closely." The forest was dense, and Lyra stumbled several times over roots and rocks. Alex helped her each time, supporting her with a steady hand. They moved silently, avoiding patrols and hidden traps left by the raiders. Hours passed like this. The night fell and the stars appeared above the broken world. Lyra had never seen stars so bright. They made her feel small but somehow hopeful. As they rested in a small clearing, Alex took out some water from his pack. "Drink," he said. Lyra hesitated, then accepted. The water was cool and sweet. She had not eaten or drunk anything for almost a day. Alex watched her carefully, making sure she drank slowly. "You have a long journey ahead," Alex said. "We have to reach the transport ships. They are hidden in the valley. If we can get there, you'll be safe." "How far?" Lyra asked, her voice weak. "Not far, a few miles, but we need to be careful." They moved again, this time closer to the valley. The forest grew thicker. Strange noises surrounded them, but Alex always stayed calm. Lyra noticed he was not afraid, not like her. He seemed to know exactly what to do in every dangerous situation. Suddenly, they heard a scream. Lyra froze. "Stay behind me," Alex said firmly. A group of raiders appeared at the edge of the trees. They had spotted them. Alex raised his blaster and fired. Bright red bolts shot across the darkness. Lyra ducked low. One of the raiders fell and the others retreated with angry shouts. "You okay?" Alex asked, looking at her. "Yes," Lyra whispered. Her heart pounded so fast she thought it might burst. Alex nodded. Good, keep moving. The rest of the journey was tense. Every sound made Lyra jump, but Alex's presence made her feel protected. Finally, they reached a hidden valley. A small human transport ship was waiting, engines silent, shadows long. "This is it," Alex said. "Once we get on the ship, you'll be safe. My people will help you. You won't be alone anymore." Lyra looked at the ship. She had never been on a human ship before. It was strange and loud and smelled of metal and fuel, but it was also safe. She took a deep breath and followed Alex up the ramp. Inside, the ship was warm and quiet. Humans moved quickly, checking equipment and preparing for takeoff. Alex led Lyra to a small room with blankets and food. "Rest here," he said. "I'll be back soon." Lyra sat down and finally allowed herself to cry. She cried for her parents, her home, her lost life. But she also cried for the first time in months because someone cared. Someone had saved her. Hours passed. Alex returned, sitting beside her. "You'll be okay now," he said softly. "The war is not over everywhere, but here you are safe. That is all that matters for now." Lyra looked at him, her eyes wide. "Why did you save me?" she asked again. Alex smiled faintly. "Because it was the right thing to do. Even if nobody else would, even if it costs me. No one should be abandoned, Lyra. Not anyone." She repeated his words silently. No one should be abandoned. It felt powerful. It felt like hope. The ship lifted off the ground, leaving the burning village behind. Lyra pressed her face to the window. Flames and smoke rose where her home had been. She felt a sharp pain in her heart, but also a strange warmth. She had survived, and a human had saved her. Over the next few days, the ship traveled across the stars. Lyra learned small things about humans from Alex and his crew. Humans laughed, argued, and celebrated simple victories, even in the middle of a galaxy at war. They were different from any species she had seen. They were stubborn, brave, and kind, sometimes all at once. Alex taught her small lessons, too. How to handle a blaster safely, how to stay calm in danger, and most importantly, how to believe in herself. Lyra began to feel stronger. She could feel her old fear slowly turning into courage. One evening, as the stars glimmered outside the ship, Alex looked at her seriously. "When we reach the human colony, you will be safe. You will have people who care for you. And remember this promise. Humans do not abandon those who cannot defend themselves. Remember that." Lyra nodded, understanding more than words could say. That promise would stay with her forever. The ship continued across the galaxy. Below, planets passed by like tiny colored stones. Lyra's heart was heavy with memories of loss, but also full of hope. She had survived the impossible, and because of Alex, she would live to see a future she could not yet imagine. Even in the darkest moments of war, a single act of kindness could change everything. For Lyra, Alex Carter had become that act. He was not just a human soldier. He was a friend, a protector, and the reason she believed humans could be more than just fighters in a galaxy full of danger. As the ship carried them further from the ruins of her old life, Lyra whispered to herself, "I will not forget. I will not forget the human who saved me." And deep inside, she knew that someday, somehow, she would see him again. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the ship's windows, bright and full of possibilities. And in that vast galaxy, Lyra held onto a single truth. Hope could survive even the darkest warrior's past. The galaxy changed, but some things remained the same. Humans were still seen as unpredictable, sometimes reckless, and many alien species doubted their place among the stars. But those who truly knew humans had seen something different: courage, kindness, and a stubborn will that no enemy could easily break. Lyra had grown during these years. She was no longer the frightened child hiding in the ruins of her village. She was taller, stronger, and wiser. Her eyes, once filled with fear, now held determination. Her people had given her a small role in diplomacy, helping negotiate with other species to maintain peace. Lyra traveled to space stations, planets, and colonies, always careful, always alert. Yet deep inside, she never forgot the human who saved her, Alex Carter. She had only one memory of him, a face framed by helmet shadows and a kind smile that refused to leave her side in the forest. That memory kept her going through lonely nights and dangerous missions. She had wondered often if he survived, if humans still cared, and if he remembered a small alien girl he had once rescued. On a quiet human-controlled space station at the edge of a disputed sector, Alex Carter had changed as well. Time had hardened him. The boyish bravery he once had was now tempered by experience. He had seen countless wars, fought in battles across the galaxy, and survived situations that would have ended most soldiers' lives. Yet in every memory of his service, he remembered one rescue above all others, the small alien girl he had saved on the ruined world. Her eyes had been wide with fear, and yet they had held trust. Alex was no longer a frontline soldier. He worked as a security advisor for the station now, helping coordinate defenses, train troops, and consult on interspecies relations. Humans were still often underestimated in the galaxy. Many alien leaders saw humans as dangerous, emotional, and unpredictable. Yet Alex knew their strength. Humans were not perfect, but they could endure more than any other species he had seen. Lyra arrived at the station on official business. Her people were negotiating trade agreements with several species, but she had been sent specifically to observe human behavior. She had heard rumors of a soldier whose deeds matched the story of her savior. Could it be him? The thought made her heart race. She kept her feelings hidden, staying professional in front of other diplomats, but her mind constantly returned to the idea that she might meet Alex Carter again. She walked through the station's corridors, tall ceilings stretching above, lights humming softly. Humans passed by, some in armor, some in casual uniforms. The smells of the station were foreign to her but not unpleasant: metal, food, oil, and the faint scent of human sweat. Lyra felt nervous, her hands clenching her diplomatic papers tightly. She reminded herself to stay calm. This was a professional mission. She could not let personal feelings interfere. Meanwhile, Alex moved through the station, checking security systems and monitoring patrols. He had heard that a young diplomat from an alien species had arrived, but he did not expect to encounter anyone who would remind him of a past mission so vividly. He paused briefly in the main corridor, reviewing schedules and reports. His mind wandered, thinking of the small alien girl he had saved years ago. He wondered what had become of her. Lyra entered the human administrative wing, and Alex noticed her immediately. Something about her looked familiar, though he could not place it. Her movements were careful, measured, but her eyes held a spark of something he recognized: courage, intelligence, and a sense of survival that only came from hard experiences. When their eyes met, Lyra's breath caught. Alex did not recognize her at first. She had grown, her small, thin frame replaced with the grace and strength of a young adult. But the memory of her eyes, the silent trust she had shown, remained. Lyra stepped forward, her voice steady but soft. "Alex Carter," she said. Alex blinked, surprised. "Who?" He frowned, unsure. "Do I know you?" Lyra smiled faintly. "You saved me years ago on the ruined world. I am Lyra." Alex froze. Slowly, recognition dawned on him. His mouth opened, then closed, as if trying to find words he had forgotten. "Lyra," he stepped closer, studying her face. She had grown into someone strong and confident, yet something in her expression carried the memory of the frightened child he had once helped. "Yes," Lyra said. "You risked your life to save me. I have never forgotten it." Alex's eyes softened. Memories flooded back: the forest, the raiders, the way she had trusted him even when everything was against them. He shook his head slightly. I remember. I didn't think you would survive, not in that world." "I did," Lyra replied, "and I owe it to you. That day changed everything for me. You showed me that humans can be more than warriors. You showed me that they can care, even when the galaxy expects them to be cruel." Alex looked at her, a mixture of pride and humility in his eyes. "I did what anyone should do," he said quietly. "No one should be left behind." For a moment, neither spoke. Around them, the station moved with activity, humans and aliens interacting, yet this moment felt separate, private. Lyra studied Alex, remembering every detail from her childhood memory. His calm presence, his careful movements, and the quiet strength he had shown. She realized that humans, at their best, could do things no other species could. They could combine bravery with compassion, and that was a rare gift in the galaxy. "I never thought I would see you again," Lyra said finally. "I wondered if humans still believed in small acts of kindness. You proved that they do." Alex shook his head, smiling faintly. "Kindness is not small. It can change lives. I remember you every day, Lyra. I hoped you survived. I hoped you grew strong." Lyra felt a warmth in her chest. She had spent years wondering if she was alone in the universe. Now she realized she was not. Humans might be underestimated, laughed at, or feared, but she had seen the truth. They could protect, help, and inspire. As their conversation continued, alien diplomats around them watched with curiosity. Humans were known for their stubbornness and unpredictability, and the close connection between Alex and Lyra drew attention. Some whispered, questioning why a human soldier would have such an impact on an alien diplomat. Others wondered what it meant for the humans' place in the galaxy. Lyra ignored the whispers. Her focus was on Alex and the truth she had carried in her heart for years. "I want the galaxy to see what humans can do," she said. "Not just in war, but in courage, in helping others, in standing for what is right. You taught me that." Alex nodded slowly. "I don't know if the galaxy will ever understand. Many will doubt us, fear us, and underestimate us. But humans always find a way. We fight for more than ourselves. That is what makes us strong." Lyra smiled. She could feel the same fire that had carried her through years of danger and loneliness. Humans might not be perfect, but they were powerful in ways the galaxy did not yet understand. She wanted to show them, not with weapons, but with example. Over the next few days, Lyra and Alex spent time together. They shared stories of past battles, of lost worlds, and of survival against impossible odds. Alex taught her about human strategy, patience, and endurance. Lyra shared what she had learned about diplomacy, negotiation, and understanding other species. Together, they formed a bond not just of gratitude but of mutual respect. One evening, as the station lights dimmed, Alex and Lyra stood at a window overlooking the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of unknown worlds and dangers. Lyra spoke quietly. "The galaxy underestimates humans. They see them as reckless, dangerous, or simple. But I have seen the truth. Humans are strong not because of weapons or ships, but because of courage and heart. You showed me that." Alex looked at her, a gentle smile on his face. "And you reminded me of why I fight. Not for glory, not for medals, but for people who cannot protect themselves. You are not just my memory, Lyra. You are my proof that even small acts can change the course of the galaxy." For the first time, Lyra felt a sense of purpose beyond survival. She had grown strong, yes, but she also had a mission. To show the galaxy that humans were more than soldiers. They were protectors. They were friends. They were hope. As they looked at the stars together, neither of them spoke for a long moment. Words were not needed. The bond they shared, built from a memory of danger and trust, was stronger than anything else. But even as they stood there, a quiet tension lingered. The galaxy was still a dangerous place. Humans were still distrusted. Lyra knew that the future would test them both, individually and together. And yet, she felt ready. With Alex by her side, she felt that even the greatest dangers could be overcome. Because sometimes, the galaxy needed proof not from fleets or armies, but from the courage of a human soldier and the life he had saved. And sometimes, one small alien girl could carry that proof across the stars, reminding everyone that strength was measured not only in firepower, but in compassion, loyalty, and courage. The future was uncertain. Wars would come. Alliances would shift. But Lyra knew one truth would remain forever. Humans, at their best, could defy expectations, change lives, and reshape the galaxy. And for Lyra, the memory of that long-ago rescue and the man who had made it possible would guide her through everything that came next. The space station hummed with life. Ships moved in and out of docking bays. Traders and diplomats hurried through corridors, and security personnel patrolled every corner. It was supposed to be a place of peace and negotiation, but tension hung in the air like a heavy fog. Lyra walked carefully through the main concourse, her eyes scanning everything. She had grown used to the hustle of human-controlled stations, but something felt different this time. Her instincts told her danger could come at any moment. And yet another thought pulled her forward: Alex Carter. She had not seen him in years, not since he had saved her life on that ruined planet. She remembered the fear she had felt, the forest shadows, and the way he had risked everything to protect her. That memory had guided her, given her courage, and made her believe in humans. Now, standing among the crowds of species from across the galaxy, she felt that same hope stirring inside her. Alex moved through the station as well, unaware that Lyra was nearby. He was focused on his duties, checking security logs, inspecting patrol schedules, and reviewing recent reports of suspicious activity in the sector. Humans were often underestimated, many aliens assuming they were reckless and easy to provoke. But Alex knew the truth. Humans were patient, clever, and stubborn in ways the galaxy could not imagine. As he paused near a docking bay to review a communication terminal, he noticed her. At first, he did not recognize her. She had grown taller, stronger, more confident. But there was something familiar in her posture, the way she held herself, the quiet intelligence in her eyes. He blinked, surprised, unsure if he was imagining it. "Alex Carter," Lyra said, stepping into view. Her voice was calm but carried an undercurrent of emotion. Alex turned quickly and recognition hit him like a wave. "Lyra." His voice was soft, almost disbelieving. He stepped closer, studying her carefully. She had grown into someone capable, strong, and poised. And yet he could still see the child who had trusted him so many years ago. "Yes," she said, meeting his gaze steadily. "It's me. I am the girl you saved." Alex took a moment to collect himself. Memories flooded back: the forest, the raiders, the long journey to the human ship, and the promise he had made. I remember," he said finally. "I didn't think you would survive that day." "I did," Lyra replied, a small smile forming, "and I never forgot what you did. That day changed my life. You showed me that humans could be more than just soldiers. You showed me that they could care when no one else would." Alex nodded, his expression serious. "I did what anyone should do. No one should be left behind. I'm glad you survived, Lyra." "I hoped you would." They stood in silence for a moment, surrounded by the noise of the station. Aliens and humans moved past them, curious eyes glancing at the unusual interaction. Some whispered among themselves, questioning why a human soldier and an alien diplomat seemed so familiar with each other. But Alex and Lyra did not notice. Their attention was fully on each other. Lyra stepped closer. "I want you to understand something, Alex. Humans are underestimated by almost every species in the galaxy. They think humans are reckless, dangerous, or simple, but I've seen the truth. Humans can be brave, compassionate, and clever. You proved that to me." Alex's lips curved into a faint smile. "And you reminded me why humans fight, why we endure. Not for glory or recognition, but for people who cannot protect themselves. You are living proof that one act of courage can change a life." Over the next few hours, Lyra and Alex spoke quietly, away from the main concourse. She told him about her people, how she had grown, and the role she now played in diplomacy. He shared stories of humans, their struggles, and the battles he had survived. They laughed softly at small memories and nodded in solemn agreement over hardships endured. As they spoke, security personnel and station officials began to notice. Humans were not often seen interacting so closely with aliens in this way, especially diplomats. Some were curious, others wary. Rumors began to spread. A human soldier and an alien diplomat seemed unusually connected. Some wondered if there was more to this relationship, others feared potential political complications. But Lyra ignored the whispers. Her focus was on Alex and the bond they shared. "I want the galaxy to see what humans are truly capable of," she said finally. "Not just in war, but in courage, loyalty, and compassion. You showed me that humans could do things no other species could." Alex nodded slowly. "The galaxy may never fully understand. Many will doubt humans, fear humans, and underestimate us. But those of us who know the truth, we keep moving forward. We protect, we endure, and we fight for what is right." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent alert from the station's command center. A hostile alien faction had been spotted approaching the station, intent on seizing control. The announcement warned of possible attacks on docking bays and civilian areas. Alex's face hardened. "Stay here," he told Lyra. "I need to see what we're facing." Lyra refused. "I can help, I know your tactics, and I can advise. We can work together." Alex hesitated, then nodded. "All right, but stay close. Follow my lead." They moved to the station's command center, where officers and security personnel were coordinating defenses. Holographic displays showed incoming ships, their movements, and projected points of attack. Alex quickly assessed the situation. The enemy assumed humans would panic or act recklessly, but they underestimated human strategy. "Humans fight for more than survival," Alex said quietly to Lyra. "We fight for each other, for those who cannot fight, and for hope. Watch and learn." As the enemy ships approached, Alex coordinated defensive maneuvers. Human engineers and soldiers moved efficiently, using tactics that seemed simple but were highly effective. Alien allies were skeptical at first, but they quickly realized that Alex's methods worked. Every move protected civilians, minimized losses, and maintained the station's integrity. Lyra observed closely. She was amazed. Humans were not just strong physically or technologically. They had a resilience, a creativity, and a determination that no other species had. She had remembered this from her rescue years ago, but seeing it in action on a larger scale was awe-inspiring. When the first wave of attackers arrived, human fighters met them head-on. They used clever maneuvers, precise strikes, and coordinated defenses to hold the enemy at bay. Lyra helped relay information, coordinating with alien diplomats to keep civilians safe. Together, they created a network of protection that no single species could achieve alone. The battle raged for hours. Ships clashed in the void, lasers cutting through the darkness. Explosions rocked the station as defenders fought tirelessly. Alex and Lyra moved together, side by side, coordinating defenses and saving lives. The bond between them, built on trust and shared history, allowed them to act without hesitation. Eventually, the enemy was forced to retreat. Their attacks had failed and the station remained intact. Civilians were safe and damage was limited. Alien leaders who had doubted humans looked on in surprise and admiration. The humans' ability to protect, endure, and fight with both courage and compassion had been undeniable. Lyra turned to Alex, her eyes shining. "The galaxy sees it now," she said. "Humans are more than warriors. They are protectors, helpers, and survivors, just as you taught me so long ago." Alex nodded, a small smile on his face. "And you will help them understand. Humans are not perfect, but at their best, we can change the course of events. We can inspire hope, just like we did for you." For the first time in her career, Lyra felt a deeper sense of purpose. Her people, her allies, and even the humans had all underestimated the power of one simple act of courage. Now she knew it could ripple across the galaxy, inspiring trust, cooperation, and change. The battle over, the station slowly returned to normal. Ships docked, alarms silenced, and civilians resumed their routines. But for Lyra and Alex, the day had been more than a victory. It had been proof that humans, when guided by courage and compassion, could achieve what others deemed impossible. As they walked together through the station corridors, side by side, Lyra reflected on the journey that had brought her here. She had survived the impossible. She had grown strong, and she had witnessed the true power of humanity. Alex looked at her, a faint grin on his face. "This is only the beginning, Lyra. The galaxy will test us again. But whatever comes, humans will endure, and we will always protect those who cannot protect themselves." Lyra nodded. "And I will be there to remind them, to show them what humans can do, not with fear but with courage and heart, just like you showed me." The stars outside the station stretched endlessly, a reminder of the vast galaxy still full of dangers and opportunities. Lyra understood now that her role was not just survival, it was witness, ambassador, and messenger. Humans were underestimated, yes, but she had seen their true strength, and she would not allow the galaxy to forget it. As they stood together, looking out at the distant planets and star systems, neither spoke. Words were unnecessary. Their bond, built from a shared past and reinforced by trials in the present, was enough. The galaxy might doubt humans, might fear them, and might underestimate them, but those who had seen the truth, like Lyra, knew differently. Hope, courage, and compassion could move across light years, and humans, at their best, could change the course of entire civilizations. The warning sirens echoed through the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors, and automated messages repeated across the speakers. "Hostile ships approaching. All personnel prepare for defense." Lyra's heart raced. She had witnessed attacks before, but never like this. Alex Carter moved quickly, his eyes scanning the station's command panels. The enemy ships had appeared faster than expected. They were armed, numerous, and determined to take control. Alex knew the aliens attacking them expected humans to panic. They believed humans would be reckless, unpredictable, and easy to defeat. But humans had something the enemy did not understand: courage, strategy, and the willingness to fight for others. "Lyra," Alex said, his voice calm but urgent, "stay close. I need your help to coordinate with the diplomats. We must protect civilians. We cannot let anyone panic." Lyra nodded. "I understand. Let's do this." She moved quickly, reaching communication consoles used by the station's diplomatic staff. Using her knowledge of alien protocols, she relayed instructions to prevent chaos. She guided citizens to safe zones, advised ambassadors on secure movements, and coordinated with security teams. Alex led the human forces. Soldiers ran to defensive positions, engineers prepared automated turrets, and pilots scrambled into their fighters. He directed every movement with precision. The enemy ships moved into attack formation, expecting resistance but not efficiency. "They think humans are reckless," Alex muttered under his breath. "Let's show them they are wrong." The first wave of attackers struck. Energy beams lit up the station's exterior, and explosions rocked the docking bays. Humans moved quickly, taking cover, returning fire, and guiding alien allies to safe positions. Lyra watched from the command center, her heart pounding. She had never seen humans fight like this, not just with weapons, but with strategy and calm determination. "Keep the civilians safe," Alex ordered, pointing to areas under heavy fire. "Use the turrets and fighters to slow them down. We will hold them off." Lyra relayed the commands, using her voice to coordinate humans and aliens alike. "Civilian sectors secure. Evacuation corridors open. Everyone follow instructions." Her clear, confident voice calmed panic, allowing the station to function like a single unit despite the chaos. Outside, human fighters engaged the enemy. They moved with precision, outmaneuvering the attackers who had expected chaos. Alex directed them from the command center, his orders crisp and efficient. He was not just a soldier, he was a leader, and humans under his command were disciplined, courageous, and relentless. The aliens attacking the station had underestimated humans. They expected fear and mistakes. Instead, they encountered calm, calculated resistance. Each attack was met with a counterattack. Each attempt to breach the station was repelled. Lyra felt a surge of pride and amazement. The humans were not only fighting for themselves, they were protecting everyone. Aliens, diplomats, civilians, they were all defended by humans who refused to retreat. She remembered the day Alex had saved her. Then he had fought for a single life. Now he was fighting for thousands. Hours passed. The battle raged outside. Explosions shook the station, warning sirens never stopped, and smoke filled parts of the corridors. But humans did not waver. Engineers repaired damage, soldiers moved through danger, and Alex's strategy kept the station intact. At one point, a group of enemy fighters broke through the perimeter. They headed straight for the main docking bay, where civilians were waiting to escape. Alex ran to the turret controls and fired, stopping some of them. Then he grabbed a small fighter and launched into space, determined to intercept the rest. Lyra followed closely, coordinating from the command center, guiding the remaining forces. The human fighters engaged in a brutal space battle. Alex moved with skill, using tactics the enemy had never seen before. They had assumed humans relied only on brute force, but Alex showed them precision, intelligence, and adaptability. The enemy's numbers could not overwhelm human determination. Back in the station, Lyra continued her work, directing civilians, checking safety zones, and relaying vital information. She realized humans were remarkable, not because of technology but because of courage, patience, and teamwork. Every order Alex gave, every maneuver humans executed protected lives. Finally, after long hours, the enemy was forced to retreat. Their ships had suffered heavy losses, and the station remained intact. Human forces, exhausted but unbroken, returned to the station. Civilians cheered, diplomats expressed relief, and even alien allies who had doubted humans showed admiration. Lyra approached Alex as he returned from the fighter bay. His uniform was scorched, his armor scratched, and his face was tired but unbowed. He smiled faintly when he saw her. "You did well," he said quietly. "You helped keep everyone safe. I couldn't have done it without you." "You did well too," Lyra replied. "Humans, they are not what the galaxy thinks. They are more, brave, clever, and kind. You proved it today." Alex shook his head. "We did it together, but don't forget, humans fight not for glory but for those who cannot defend themselves. That is what makes us strong." Lyra nodded, understanding more deeply than ever. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. They had seen only weapons and war, but humans had something greater: courage, compassion, and the willingness to stand for others no matter the risk. As the station recovered, Lyra and Alex walked through the corridors together. Broken walls were repaired, systems restored, and alarms silenced. Civilians returned to their homes, and traders resumed their activities. But the memory of the battle remained. Aliens who had doubted humans spoke quietly among themselves. They had witnessed something remarkable. Humans had faced impossible odds and held their ground. They had protected lives, not just conquered territory. And a human soldier had led them with intelligence, courage, and heart. Lyra turned to Alex. "You saved lives today, not just mine but thousands, and the galaxy saw it. Maybe now they will think differently about humans." Alex smiled faintly. "They may. Some will still doubt us, but those who saw the truth, they will remember. Humans are not just warriors. We endure, we protect, we fight for what is right." She looked out the station's main window, watching the stars. "And I will help them remember. I will tell everyone what humans are capable of, not with fear but with courage and heart. just like you showed me all those years ago." Alex put a hand on her shoulder. "Then the galaxy will know. Humans may be underestimated, but when it counts, we will always rise to the challenge." Outside, the stars were calm, a quiet contrast to the chaos that had just passed. Lyra thought about the ruined world where she had been a child, hiding and afraid. She thought about Alex, who had saved her, and about humans who had proven their strength again today. "I will never forget," she said softly, "and I will make sure no one else does either." Alex nodded. "Good, that is all any of us can do: protect, endure, and inspire. The galaxy may test us again, but humans will not fail." Together, they stood at the window, watching the stars. The battle was over, but the lessons remained. Humans were not what the galaxy expected. They were stronger, braver, and kinder than most species could imagine. And Lyra knew that, no matter what came next, humanity would continue to prove itself. One life saved, one battle fought, one act of courage at a time. The galaxy had witnessed the strength of humans, but it had not seen everything yet. Lyra and Alex both knew this. Wars would come. Challenges would rise. But as long as humans stood together, guided by courage and compassion, no enemy could truly conquer them. And in that knowledge, Lyra felt hope. Hope for herself, for her people, and for the galaxy. The galaxy would never forget the day humans stood and protected not just themselves, but everyone around them. Alex turned to her one last time before heading to his next task. "The galaxy tests us, Lyra, but humans endure, we protect, and we never abandon those who cannot protect themselves." Lyra smiled, remembering the promise he had made years ago. "I remember," she said, "and I will tell the galaxy." The stars stretched endlessly beyond the station's windows, and Lyra understood one truth clearly. Humanity's greatest strength was not in weapons or ships, but in courage, compassion, and the refusal to abandon others. And she would carry that truth across the galaxy, ensuring the world and the stars remembered. The battle was over. The station was quiet now, except for the soft hum of machinery and the occasional chatter of soldiers and diplomats. Humans had proven their strength, their courage, and their compassion. The enemy had retreated and the civilians were safe. But Lyra knew that the true challenge was only beginning. The galaxy had seen the humans' actions, but would it understand them? She walked through the main hall with Alex Carter by her side. The corridor was busy with people returning to their normal routines, but whispers followed them. Aliens who had doubted humans stared in awe, some nodding quietly to themselves, recognizing what they had just witnessed. Humans were no longer just fighters. They were protectors, capable of bravery, intelligence, and kindness that could change the course of events. Lyra stopped near a large observation window, watching the stars outside. "The galaxy saw what humans can do today," she said softly. "I hope they will remember it." Alex nodded. Some will still doubt us. But those who saw it, those who witnessed human courage, they will tell others. And slowly the truth will spread. Humans are more than warriors. We are protectors, helpers, and survivors." Lyra smiled. "I will help them understand. I will tell every diplomat, every species, what humans are capable of. Not with fear, but with courage, with heart, just like you showed me all those years ago." Alex looked at her, a mixture of pride and relief in his eyes. "You have grown strong, Lyra. Not just in body, but in spirit. You carry a message the galaxy needs to hear. Humans fight for more than survival. We fight for life, for hope, and for those who cannot defend themselves." Together, they moved to a large meeting hall. Diplomats and leaders from dozens of species had gathered to assess the station's safety and discuss the battle. There was tension in the air. Some feared humans' power, while others were beginning to see it in a new light. Lyra stepped forward, her voice calm but commanding. "The humans defended this station today. They did not fight for glory. They did not fight for conquest. They fought to protect everyone, no matter the species, no matter the origin. They showed courage, strategy, and compassion that saved thousands of lives. Humans are not what the galaxy thinks, they are more. A murmur passed through the crowd. Some diplomats nodded slowly, realizing the truth. Humans had been underestimated for centuries. They were often seen as reckless, emotional, or weak. But today, humans had proven themselves stronger than anyone could have imagined. Alex spoke next. The humans you see before you are not perfect. We make mistakes and we have flaws. But when it matters most, we stand together. We fight for each other. We fight for life. We endure when others would surrender. And we do not abandon those who cannot defend themselves. Lyra watched as the aliens began to listen, some quietly shifting their opinions. She felt hope stirring inside her. The galaxy might be slow to change, but truth could not be hidden forever. The actions of humans, guided by courage and heart, could inspire others. After the meeting, Lyra and Alex walked to a quiet terrace overlooking the stars. The battle had left scars on the station, but it also left something else: respect for humans. For the first time in her life, Lyra felt that the promise Alex had made years ago, the promise of protection and kindness, had come full circle. "Do you remember the first time you saved me?" Lyra asked quietly, her eyes on the distant planets. Alex smiled faintly. "How could I forget? You were a scared little girl hiding in the forest. I promised I would protect you. I did not know if I would survive or if you would. But I promised and I kept that promise." "You did more than that," Lyra said. "You taught me what humans are capable of. Courage, kindness, endurance. You showed me that even one person can change a life, and even one life can change the future." Alex nodded, a shadow of pride on his face. "And now you are showing the galaxy the same lesson. Humans are not just fighters. We are protectors, and we endure for those who cannot fight. That is what makes us strong." The two of them stood together in silence, looking out at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and uncertainties, but they had proven one truth: humans could rise to any challenge, protect the weak, and inspire hope. In the days that followed, Lyra traveled across the station and beyond, sharing her experiences. She told diplomats and leaders about humans' actions during the attack, emphasizing their bravery, strategy, and compassion. Slowly, attitudes began to shift. Aliens who had once doubted humans now recognized their strength. Stories of human courage spread to other stations and colonies. Alex continued his work, training human soldiers and coordinating defense strategies. But now he also had Lyra as an ally, someone who understood the value of humans and could advocate for them in a galaxy that often misjudged them. Together, they worked to build bridges, proving that humans could lead not through fear, but through strength and heart. One evening, after another long day of meetings and coordination, Lyra and Alex found themselves alone on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them, calm and silent after the recent chaos. "You kept your promise," Lyra said softly. "You didn't abandon me. You saved me when no one else would. And now I am helping the galaxy see what humans can do. You changed my life, Alex, and together we are changing the galaxy." Alex smiled. "And you will continue to do so. Humans are not perfect, but they have heart. You have seen it firsthand, and you are showing others. That is the greatest proof of all." Lyra nodded, feeling a sense of fulfillment she had never known as a child. The galaxy had witnessed human courage and compassion. She had survived impossible odds and grown into someone capable of guiding others. And Alex Carter, the human who had saved her years ago, stood beside her, a reminder that even in darkness, hope could survive. The station continued to thrive. Humans were no longer underestimated. Aliens began to see them differently, not as reckless fighters, but as protectors capable of bravery and heart. Lyra's people respected humans, and other species began to trust them in ways they had never done before. The galaxy was still vast and dangerous. Conflicts would arise, and challenges would test humanity again. But the memory of the station's defense, the courage of humans, and the bond between Alex and Lyra would remain. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans endure, humans protect, and humans inspire. In her heart, Lyra knew one truth clearly. Humans were special not because of their weapons, ships, or technology, but because of their courage, compassion, and refusal to abandon those who needed them. That lesson would guide her throughout her life and influence the galaxy for generations. Alex turned to her one last time before she left for a diplomatic mission to another sector. The galaxy will test us again, Lyra, but humans will endure. We will protect, and we will never abandon those who cannot protect themselves. Remember that. I will, Lyra said, and I will tell the galaxy. I will make sure everyone knows what humans are capable of, not just their strength in battle, but their courage, their heart, and their will to protect others. She stepped onto the transport pad, ready to continue her mission. Alex watched her go, proud of the life she had built and the message she carried. The galaxy was vast and uncertain, but the actions of humans, guided by courage and compassion, had left a mark that could never be erased. The stars outside stretched endlessly, bright and full of possibilities. Lyra felt hope in her chest, a sense of purpose that was stronger than fear. She had survived impossible odds, seen the best of humans, and now carried their story to the galaxy. And Alex knew that wherever she went, she would remind the universe of one truth. Humans endure, humans protect, and humans inspire hope, no matter the darkness that surrounds them. The galaxy would never forget.